remember is a minimum requirement. Then flag state can add extra, which happens with certain flag states and over specific things, and that is always there extra, but they cannot be having less than this. So that is why we stick to SOLAS all the time, reference. But whenever you go on a ship, it is already certified that you have got this. Whole list is there, you check accordingly. Now, everything in SOLAS will be based on ships, okay? Standard ships are one. One is a cargo ship. First, there is cargo ship. Only if you have got more than 12 passengers, then it becomes passenger ship. And moment it becomes passenger ship, the requirements change. They become stricter. Why? Because you have got untrained people there and you have to save their life. Now, if you are a regular ship's crew, certified one or uncertified, or but one way or the other you are certified at different levels of certificates. You are trained to save your life. That is why STCW courses. Now, passengers don't do STCW courses. That is the reason you have to protect them. And that is why these regulations come. And passenger ships, there will be variations. Only reason is this, that you have to save them, and they are like confused lamb. Okay, so here in this I have reduced everything from the language and made it in a tabular form. Regulation number is here, clause number is there. Clause, the top line, generally if it is 2, it is talking about a particular section in it, and then 2.1 to 2.2 and etc. 3 is different, 3.1, 3.2, whatever it is. Okay, so I tried to simplify it. For second maths exam you are expected to know these things, because you can be questioned on how many VHFs are there on ship and this and that, like that. Here what we are doing is we are just checking it out, what it is, what is the minimum requirements. Okay, now radio saving appliances, that is regulation number 6 clause 2. Two-way VHF radio phone. I don't know why we say two-way, because VHF walkie-talkies everything is two-way. But possibility is there, somebody may come out and say no, I can have one way, and also this legal language they clarify it. Minimum number 3, cargo ships as well as passenger ships. Now this three you will always notice on bridge with bright colors, they are waterproof and they are not used for any other purpose except this, safety. Then you have got search and rescue locating devices. Location we have seen in definition, to locate the lifeboat or people in water. Now you have got SART and AIS SART. Now AIS SART is a new development relatively. Now the difference between the two is SART is the standard one, which we have been using for donkey's years. It works with X-band radar. Okay. AIS SAT work with, they transmit the signal, and like for example on egg disk you have got overlay of AIS overlay is there, so you will be able to see lifeboat, life craft, whatever it is in on egg disk. So because egg disk will be always on, you are always monitoring, so automatically you will know yes, something is there. Now AIS SAT can be really small, it will get incorporated sooner or later in life jackets. Okay, it's just matter of time. You must have two, one on each side. Distress flares, 12, it's in one box, 12 of them are there on both cargo ship, passenger ships. Onboard communication alarm systems, fixed and portable equipment for two-way communications. Okay, fixed or portable two-way communication system, one on each. Okay. Then you have got general alarm signal plus public address, one each. Passenger ships, it's specifically covered is public address systems on passenger ships. Here you have got one on emergency electric supply, and it is very much required on passenger ships. We are not talking cargo ships because people are trained. If there is even false alarm, passengers can get panicky, and there can be a stampede and people dying, getting hurt, etc. That is the reason passenger ships, it's very sensitive issue of this public address systems, and they ensure that passengers remain calm. If there is a alarm, they, somebody talks to them, sort of one way talking, and pulls them down and sends them to whatever embarkation deck, wherever safety, where they will be safe. Then regulation 7 deals with life buoys. Now, life buoy, three types you will get in the sense: life buoy with lifeline, life buoy with self-igniting lights, and life buoys with self-activating smoke signal. Now, self-igniting light and smoke signal can be combined, but always remember life buoys with lifeline will not have any other attachment. They will be only lifelines, and the lights and the smoke signal will not have lifeline attached anytime. This is what you remember, and then self-ignited light is 50%. Rest of them, if you remember, very good, 2 good enough. Then number of life buoys and all are covered under something else. It has got something to do with ship's length and other things. Okay. Life jackets per person one, and sufficient for watchkeepers. That means the watchkeepers' life jackets, extra life jackets, will be stored in the place of workplace. So they, because they may not get chance to go to cabin. Similarly, you also have extra life jackets, which are normally all the ships keep in the boxes next to lifeboats, embarkation deck. That is also another way of giving the uh, life jacket to every person. Now, there are issues on ferries and passenger ships. They got to have lot more life jackets because there is another problem. You don't know how many children will be there, how many infants will be there. You won't know. Our types of ships, cargo ships and all, you know who is joining. This guy is joining with his wife and 2 kids. Fine. But passenger ship, every voyage, they have to check that you have got correct number of life jackets. So generally they have extra based on their studies, because last minute where will they find life jackets? So they have got extra all the time. And they should be accessible. Life jackets should be accessible to people. That is where you keep. Normally we keep it in cabin in a separate, on top of your wardrobe. There is one compartment only for life jacket, nothing else. Then there are immersion suit, anti-exposure suits. Per rescue boat you need numbers. Normally you will find minimum 3 and all. And every person needs one, means crew. This is one is for each person. So people involved in say 5 in a rescue boat, then there will be 5. Or anti-exposure suits, immersion or anti-exposure. Generally, one of them is there. Then, Regulation 8 deals with muster list and emergency instruction. They should be sufficient in number all over. So you'll find them all over the ship. And it must be in English and local language. It cannot be only in working language. It has to be in English also. This is important. English plus working language. 2. If it working language is English, then you learn English. But not or, it is and. Then operating instructions again sufficient in number. How do you tie life jacket? How do you throw life raft overboard and inflate it? All these things are there, and again they are in language as well as pictorial. So the pictures are also there. How do you do it? You'll find all safety instructions are always with pictures. Manning of the survival crafts. Now remember, survival craft include lifeboat, life rafts. So manning, how is it manned? You need a trained person. That is, all of you are certified. You are trained. So one per craft to take charge of the craft. And you have got additional. If you have got motorized craft means with engine, then you must have engine operator, one per craft. So this is what is sort of important thing for passenger ships as well as uh, ferries. That is where generally issues come. You are outnumbered grossly by the passengers, and the capacity is there. But if you have got say 30 survival crafts, do you have 30 persons to take charge? Each craft must have one person in charge, and he is certified. That is what you all are. STCW courses. They make you trained. Then survival craft muster embarkation arrangement there as per regulations. Launching stations there as per regulations. These are say one thing is covering up. Launching station is clause 12. Then stowage of survival craft again as per regulation. Stowage of survival lifeboats is straightforward more or less, but life rafts you get two types. Uh, One is you just launch easily. They are just next to the ship side, and you just pull the pin. Make sure painter is tied up. It rolls over, drops in the sea. Then you give a jerk. It inflates. This is one part. Other ones are to be carried and thrown. So those ones, two persons should be able to carry normally a life raft. And then there are others where they are to be stored because they are launched from in a inflated condition with passengers inside, means people inside, and they are launched by Davids. The David launch life rafts are there. So those survival crafts, they are all as per regulations where to store it. It has to be close by. It can't be somewhere else like that. Rescue boats are always kept in a ready condition. Rescue boat. Okay, if it is inflation type, you inflate and it is always ready. 24 by 7, always ready. Rescue boat. And readiness to launch in 5 minutes. That means even it is slinging is done and it is ready on David. You just press button, lift up people, get in, launch. And same way recovery process is also there. Now marine evacuation systems. That is, it came in because there were disasters in North Sea. That is between England and Norway and all, the oil fields. They had fires and people could not escape because of their systems were not. Then this thing came in, marine evacuation system. It is similar like if you ever seen aircraft landing on water and people getting out. Somewhat similar. Ours is of course generally on a different scale, but it is same. A slide gets created, it gets inflated, it automatically rolls out and all, and you just slide over, and at bottom you will have a life raft ready to board. So that is marine evacuation system, which is used basically on oil platforms. Then you have got it in oil stations, when the offshore oil fields, ferries, because ferries at times in river crafts and all, they have this issue. If there is a fire, how do you evacuate them quickly? So this is the best solution where everybody slides out quickly instead of one by one. एक गया दूसरा गया नहीं धड़ाधड़ धड़ाधड़ होता है. So where it is kept, it is like a big box. It's a big box, huh? means something like maybe 2 meters wide, 3 meters wide. Height will be about 2 meters, like that. So that is somewhere on deck always, but it is to be kept in a area protected from heavy seas. Because if it is something to do with heavy seas and you can't operate it, it has got no meaning because you're keeping it on a deck. That is why it should be protected from heavy seas. You find the area like that. Survival craft launching recovery arrangement, there are regulations. Earlier we had only launching. Today you have a recovery also because your survival crafts also get used to rescue sinking ships people. You may go to rescue people. Why? Because one passenger ship or a ferry is sinking and people are in water. Your job is to pick them up and save them. So that time you have to recover your own life raft. Like not life raft, I'm talking about survival crafts. Generally they will be boats. Okay. So that time the issue comes. How do you recover it quickly? So there are something which you must have done in practicals, but this recovery is required, and that is regulations are there how it must be, and there has to be something more. Will be touching it anyway. Rescue boat launching recovery. 5 minutes for launching, 5 minutes for recovery because those are specially designed for rescue. Survival crafts for recovery and all, you may use it like a rescue boat, but not a rescue boat. But purpose may be same. When you actually, so there is a requirement for recovery, launching both. Similar requirements are there. Then you have got recovery of people from water. You need a ship specific plan. Ship specific means it is not generic. For each ship, there is a different plan. Sure, you don't reinvent a wheel. Like if you are joining a brand new ship, taking over from a shipyard. That is the main challenge is to create all the ship specific plans immediately. Means you generally go there earlier. You don't go there last minute. You go there sometimes 1 month in advance, 15 days in advance, depending on some people go even 3 months in advance. Some 1 month, some 15 days, some 4 days, like that. It is there. So that time you do. Now, how will you do a ship specific plan and procedures? I will get some sort of a generic document on it, or I will just take it from some other ship and I will go line by line to see whether it's applicable to me or no. If it is applicable, I keep it. If it is not, no, then I decide my ship, I need this extra, I add it up, and that is how you generally do. Nobody reinvents a wheel every time. That is where some of the things we like to keep, like, okay, we will keep it in a way that, nowadays it's easier, you carry it in your phone also. So sometimes we keep these ship's documents with us so that remaking it becomes easier. Like cut paste job. Every ship must have line throwing apparatus. I got disconnected and connected. You can hear me,
Yes, sir.
but you can't see anything, right? Sharing screen is not on.
No, sir.
ये क्या हो गया? Why I am not here? I have come back. Okay, you can hear me. You can see me, right? You can see the screen. What? I have to ask specifically now. Asar, Asar, you can see me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So tell me no when I'm asking because this connection obviously is giving little issue. क्या करेगा? I don't think it is problem of my PC anyway. But you can always say it. US is Chinese, so it is possible. Hmm? Okay. So line throwing apparatus minimum one. Now remember one thing: ships do have more than one line throwing appliances, but they may not be part of safety equipment. Safety equipment also is possible. You have got more, fine. Appliances are more, no issues. But you also have line throwing appliances which are made for mooring. Instead of throwing heaving line, you use line throwing appliances. 1 minute. Huh? किसका फोन है?
Hello.
Hmm. So that is one. Now, any questions on this? Whatever we just saw on top.
No, sir.
Who is saying no, sir? Jatin. Advait, you have any questions? See, this is what I should do to take your attendance, no?
Yes, sir.
Huh. You have got questions? No, sir, yet. What is it?
No questions, sir. All clear.
All clear. Very good. Previous batch scored in this subject aggregate, I think 83%, I think, class aggregate. So you all have to do better than that. Hmm. Today you get freedom, no? From the quarantine? Or already got freedom?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Today.
Today
Today.
you get. Okay. Good. Hmm. Better do your practicals properly, huh? Because what happens is it is little hurry, so you may not get second chance that quickly. So better pay attention, lot of attention actually, I will say. Hmm. Now there are more regulations because it is not ship owner's responsibility is to provide you with things, and then you have got responsibility to run it, and that time so both things get covered under SOLAS. Now emergency training and drills. When you look at it, okay, that is 19, regulation 19. Familiarity with safety installations practice master, that is where we have got familiarization programs. What we do is when somebody joins, we take him for a round, show him things, and then there is the first drill. The first drill, like if you look at it, if all the guys are new or taking over from shipyard and all, it has to be done before ship sails. Then to more than 25% people change, same thing. Less than that, then within 24 hours of sailing, it has to be done. So, like there are rules and regulations. Drills frequencies are regulated. Okay, frequencies are regulated of drills. That is the minimum requirements, especially for abandoned ship drills. They are regulated. You must have abandoned ship drill every month. Must have. And fire drills Similar again, you work out that is what you all have done already. So this is the content, means what you should do in the drill is controlled, regulated, and the procedures, how you conduct the drill and the frequency, all these things are regulated. Similarly, there has to be onboard training instructions to make sure that everybody gets familiar with the ship's equipment, because in emergencies you don't have time to think or start reading. So that is also regulated. It is not that you decide on own. No, there are regulations to be followed. Records, again, record keeping has to be done, and that is also as per regulations. That records must be maintained as per regulation. That means you can refer and say, last 6 months, how many did you do this, whether everything is transparent. Then we almost finished. So, to regulation 20. We have got 15 minutes, so we should finish. It is dealing with operational readiness, maintenance, and inspection. It applies to all the ships. Okay. These things like 19 also applies to all ships, 20 also applies to all ships. Now, operational readiness means 24 by 7. Maintenance must be done and inspections must be carried out. Because without inspections, you will not be able to do maintenance anyway. Maintenance is also planned. There are two types of maintenance. Normally, one is breakdown and one is planned. But here we are talking about planned maintenance. That means this must be done every month, this must be done every 2 months, 3 months, whatever. Operational readiness means always ready 24 by 7 for immediate use. You can't say that after 10 minutes it will be ready. No, it has to be ready for immediate use. That is where generally we have issues with some old fashioned information which is given out in a wrong manner altogether. Because once upon a time, like when I was young of your age and all, those days we used to get fire alarm, then somebody used to go in engine room, start the fire pump, then only you got the water, etc., etc. And that died long back. Everywhere emergency fire pumps also start from bridge. You just press one button, pump starts. Everything must be kept ready. There are self priming arrangements, etc., etc. So just 24 by 7, but very often you get wrong information which is sort of carried forward from Christopher Columbus days. Okay. Maintenance, there are IMO guidelines. This is 3.1, maintenance, testing, inspection. As per IMO guidelines, periodic inspections must be done as well as renewal must be done, because a lot of things have got shelf life. So there are equipments which have shelf life which must be changed, expiry dates are mentioned, so that is what comes in. It is covered under regulation 20. Maintenance of falls used in launching, the wire ropes, those wire falls which are used, lifeboat davits or a life raft davits, or you have got a rescue boat. They must be inspected regularly, and in case you find damage, you have to change. Anyway, then we don't look at 5 years. But even if it is looking perfectly okay, it must be renewed every 5 years. Finished. No arguments. Then, since you're talking about maintenance, inspections, etc., etc., what about the spare parts? So, you need to maintain spare parts and repair equipment has to be on board. So, spare parts inventory must be there, minimum inventory, and there should be repair equipment. Where you can't say I need special spanner. A special spanner is required, so it has to be there. No, you where will you find otherwise? And lot of equipment, they have got very specific tools. You can't use general tools. Like if you have been playing around in computers hardware, you will find the screw heads are different. You don't have normal screwdrivers don't work. You need a special screwdriver, like that. Then there is something about weekly inspections. Okay. Now these weekly inspections you can have questions. Okay. That is very normal to see the question on weekly inspections. That is clause 6 of regulation 20. 6.1 deals with survival craft rescue boat. Always get used to saying survival crafts instead of lifeboat, life raft. Survival craft is the correct word which covers up everything. Rescue boats. They must be inspected every week. In that, in that, engines must be run at least 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. Then lifeboats to be partly swung out. That means just little bit. See, there are three things. One is partly swinging out. One is lowering it to embarkation deck. And the third one is launching of lifeboat. So don't mix up these three things. Okay, they must be partly swung out to ensure that nothing is jammed up. Because at sea, you get a lot of salt and that is corrosion. Ships are made up of steel. So it's possible something like, this David hinges might get jammed. So that is why we just swing it out. Maybe 20-30 centimeters also is okay. And then put it back. Depending on weather, of course. And this is all recorded, by the way. General emergency alarm system is tested. Now what happens is most of the ships carry out boat and fire drills every week, even though they are not required every week. In that, all these things get done automatically. Lifeboat engine will be tried out in the drill. So 3 मिनट निकल गया उसका, थोड़ा swing out किया, very good. General alarm gets tested. Now a lot of ships also use general alarm at 12 o'clock noon. They just give a short thing, 1 second. That means it is 12 o'clock now. It depends on ship and no regulations. Then you got monthly inspections. Lifeboats to be swung out. Now you see the difference. Partly swung out and swung out. Swung out means here we are talking about embarkation deck. Means, see, lifeboat davits. I'm talking about side ones. Huh? The floating block is always touching the davit till it comes out, and below that, when you swing it out to that where the davit stops moving and lifeboat starts moving, that is swinging out. So generally embarkation deck level, that's what happens. The boat is just away from the davit. The blocks are not touching. Then inspection of LSA equipment, lifeboat equipment checklist is there. Servicing of inflatable life jackets, etc. Whatever it is. Okay. This is to be done monthly. Means life jackets, everything. But normally what happens every week when you are doing it, the boat drills and fire drills, your life jackets, everything gets checked. Then all lifeboat equipment is checked. It is there. It's not gone. Nothing has gone wrong. So you don't assume because you have got a waterproof uh, compartment to store things doesn't mean it is okay. You still need to take it out and check every month. That is third mate's job. But it will be given to cadets. Then you have got marine evacuation systems. Again, you check everything. If required, you to repair it. Because the rubber ones, no? So you can patch it up. Then, when we look at it, servicing part. Servicing is done by shore people. Okay. Maintenance is done on board. Servicing is done by shore people. But it is possible on some odd ship you may find the maintenance is also done by shore people. It is possible, but not common. Servicing is by approved facilities. Those facilities are inspected by classification societies and all. They give approval, and so every 12 months you have to do. the servicing of marine evacuation systems and rescue boats. This is done, this is under 8 every 12 months by approved facility. Rotational deployment of marine evacuation systems is once every 6 years, which is, you remember, don't remember, not too much, because normally you shouldn't be getting too many questions on marine evacuation system, because that's not part and parcel of a normal merchant ship. Then periodic servicing of hydrostatic release units every 12 months. When life raft goes for servicing, same time they also go, they also get serviced, and they come back. And now that is time generally you have a issue of connecting painter correctly. Incorrectly connected painter draws lots of attention in a wrong way. That deals with incompetency of the person who has connected it. So that is something you have to be careful. Suggestion is simple: when everything is perfect, you take a photograph and keep with you, so that if you are given a task that cadet go and do it, you should know where to tie the painter and how to tie it. There is a specific way, including hydrostatic unit is involved in it. Then you also have got hydrostatic units which come from uh, like you have got something on uh, EPUB. There is a hydrostatic there. Then you have got disposable types. The validity is 3 years. So you get those ones also. They look like little different. Okay. Then you're talking about now marking of the stowage locations. Wherever you are putting it inside, obviously you're protecting from weather. So it is covered with something. So that is where you need the markings. And using by IMO symbols. You get those stickers and all. So they are put, if anything is getting damaged, then you order one, you get it, you clean up properly, put it again. Then periodic servicing of launching appliances and on-load release gear. That is davits, lifeboat davits, life raft davits, as well as there is a on-load release gear that is in the lifeboat, as well as the davit launch life rafts also have got something, so you can give a tuck and you can be free. So all those things, they are maintained. Thorough annual survey will be done. Dynamic tests are done. Means actually they hang the weights and check it out. Then when it is lifeboat, rescue boat, free fall lifeboats, they test it. Means every year they are launched in water and all. So there are testing done. Then the surveyor also makes you launch it. So then he is satisfied, yes, all the things are good, that it can take weight. Now once in a while it may happen that they want to test the full debit everything system. So you have to put weight in the boat. So you actually check out. Generally we have done it with sandbags. We knew weight of each bag, and so many bags were put, and then it was hanging like this for so much of time, and then it is okay. David launch life raft automatic release hooks. That's what I mentioned. Same, maintain, inspected, operational test is done. Okay, and then they tell you when to do it. Now, any questions in first 20?